Okay, so I'm going to show you how to download the new demo version of the new Roxor Golf software. So, like I said, this is the demo. This is a new version, but it's the beta version, so people can test it out and see if there's any problems with anything we need to fix. So you're going to go to roxorgolf.com and then just come up here and type in /software. If you search this on Google, you will not find it. So go to the URL and type it in at the top, just like I did. That'll take you to this page. I'm going to scroll down. This page might look a little bit different by the time you see it, but basically down here will be this text for demo software 0.3.2. Going to click on that. It'll automatically download. And just make sure I am recording before I get going here. All right, good. And we are this one, yeah. Okay. And you can click up on that if you're using Chrome. If you're using like Edge, it'll be up here in the corner. But just hit Show File and Folder, and then you want to click on Extract, Extract All, and then I'm going to rename this because I have so many of these from doing tests. So I'm going to click Next. You don't have to rename it, you can just click Next. Then you'll get a new folder. Open that, and then you'll see what looks like seven different files here. You're going to click on the one that has the little box package. Double click that. And you'll get this little pop-up here. You're going to click Install. Alright, so this is the new software. So, up here in the top right, you have a little toggle for connected. If that's not connected, that means the software is not connected to your box. So you may have to plug your box back in or open the software. Depending on the order that you do it in, you may have to close your software down and open it back up for it to connect. But that way you know if it's connected or not. Up here in the top left, you have wired or wireless. So if you're using a wireless box, you need to select the wireless. If you're using wired, you need to click on wired. So the first thing you want to do is, for this example, I have a white background, green button control box. So I'm going to go into the background and click over till I find the white background, which is this one, and then I'm going to click on this until I get the green button. Good. Apply changes. So now my box matches what's on the screen. So now let's go over some of the functions that are in here. So if you want to change something, first let's choose a profile. We'll choose TGC 2019. As of right now, you don't need to do anything. Your box is completely set up. Everything for TGC is done for you, except the miscellaneous. Now, depending on which background you have, you may have buttons that are in a different location based on the text. That's something that's going to be getting fixed with newer versions of the boxes that come out. The software will stay the same, but the box, those are going to be put in a consistent order, because right now some of these are switched from just different versions of the boxes before. So if you have, for example, if you're clicking map and it's doing target, all you got to do is come in here and click on map, and then select preset, TGC 2019, and then choose which one that's supposed to do. But if you have that problem, chances are it's only going to be one or two of these. Everything else, aim right, club up, club down, enter, drop, fly over. It's going to be these four right here that might need to be switched around just based on your box layout that you have. So, for example, miscellaneous right now is not selected, so it doesn't come pre-assigned. So you can assign it yourself, so you can click on it, choose preset, choose TGC 2019, and then you can make it do whatever you want. So for this purpose, we'll do grid. Sure, and then assign. So now when we push miscellaneous, it will choose the grid on and off, toggle on and off. So inside of here, besides just clicking on a button and then changing the preset for it, so like fly over, for example, if you wanted to make it something else, you could, or you can just choose fly over to put it back. But you can also come up here to generic keys and numeric keys and choose presets that are already on your keyboard. So if, for example, TGC changes something tomorrow and says that flyover is now in, you can just come in here and click in, and now it'll work for you. It'll do flyover if flyover was in, for example. But for this case, let's switch it back. So we're going to do TGC, flyover, assign. And so that's it for just selecting presets. Now we can get into some of the custom functions of it. Similar to the old software, but this one's a lot more reliable and easier to work with. So if we click on create a custom, so let me go back and do that again. So we're going to choose miscellaneous and then create a custom for this button. So you have two options in this window. You can either choose a mouse movement and a click, or just a mouse movement and a click and a series of button presses if you would ever need that. I can't think of a situation where you would, but just in case they come out with it. And then the toggle function. So I will go over each one of those real quick. For the record mode, all we got to do is, all we got to do is we got to name this. So we'll call this, let's pretend it was open club menu. Like for E6, for example, you want to make a button that will open the club menu for you. So we're going to come up here, and I'll have to show you, I'll show you on this screen, but you'll see how it works. So we're going to click on activate recording. So now it's getting ready to be recorded. So all we have to do is push cap lock when we want to start recording, and then cap lock again when we want to end recording. So for example, if you know anything about E6, down here in the bottom left is a little icon that has a little driver on it normally. And to open the menu, you have to click on that driver. So for this purpose, what we're going to do is just hover the mouse over the spot that is about that spot. Or you can just pull up E6 if you actually have it and you're trying to do it. But for this test, I'll show you what I mean. So we'll click right about here. We're not going to click. We're going to hover the mouse there. We're going to hit cap lock, click one time, cap lock. And that will record that spot on your screen of where it's going to click. So then we click assign. So now, when we push miscellaneous on our box, we're going to see that the mouse will automatically move by itself, and it's probably going to click on this create custom, because that's about where I was when I did that little test. So good, we'll see that it works. So I'm going to move the mouse over here to the right so you can see, and then I'll grab the box, and I'm just going to push miscellaneous, and we should see the mouse by itself move. It'll quickly move. You won't see it slide. It'll just show up down there in the bottom left. Right there. See? All right, so that would have been the open the club menu, for example. Now for the toggle function. All right, so what the toggle function does. The toggle function lets you move the mouse to different locations on the screen based on different options that are available. So for example, E6 is the best example, but this can be used anywhere. So in E6, after you open the club menu, you see a selection of your club options. In fact, let me pull up an image. I'm sure I can find it. Perfect, right here. Okay. See if I can make this bigger. No, but I'll leave it here. It'll be fine. So let's say this was the screen that you were, looking at after you open up the club menu, and you want to be able to change clubs in E6. So to do that, what we would do is we're going to come in here. We're going to click on the miscellaneous one, or whatever whatever button you want to set up for this, and choose create custom. And then you're going to you're going to click this to turn on toggle mode. And then once you activate the toggle mode, you're going to hover the mouse over the locations on your screen that you want and choose shift to lock in that spot. And then when you're done, you come back in here and turn off the toggle mode. All right, and then you can review, this whole section here. It should show, if you have like 14 options, you should see 14 there, but you just test it too, and you'll know that way as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose we'll call it change club. And then we're going to click on enter toggle mode, and then we will go to, for this example, I would be going to E6, but for this I'm just going for the picture of what E6 looked like. And we're going to hover our mouse over each one of these boxes and choose shift, 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 shift. Okay, and I wasn't clicking nothing, just hitting shift. And then we can come back down to the software and we can toggle that off. So these are our locations that we selected. And then we're going to hit assign. So now this button will allow us to choose which club we want. Now it won't select the club, so you have to come down here and choose enter, and then we'll choose select preset, and we'll make this a left mouse click. So now we can use enter to click on the one that we want when we're hovered over top of it. Now this example is for E6. You could use this for anything inside of GS Pro. You could mark the different locations on your screen that every option is, and then move the mouse to all those spots, and it'll just run in a big cycle. And then you just click over it over the one that you want. So now we can go back to, whoops, not that. Hang on. I'm trying to open up. There we go. All right. So now we're going to pretend we're in E6 looking at the screen. Now when I hit miscellaneous, you're going to see the mouse move automatically to the driver, and then 3 wood, and then 5 wood, then 4 wood, then 4 iron, 5, all the way through. And whenever it's on the one that you want, it starts back over again once you get to the end. When you're on the one you want, you just click enter, which is your left mouse click, and it would select it just like it did there. So that's how you would control mouse movements and clicks, or toggle functions, I should say. So a good example, I wish I could think of a better example other than that. There's actual like for example with GS Pro, if you're playing in a scramble and you get different options on the screen of what ball you want to pick, you can choose a toggle to each one of those spots, and you can make it toggle over each location, and you can see each ball. You can mix multiple menus together. So let's say over here, for example, on one menu you see, let's say there's 2 options on one menu, and then another menu is like 4 options. Well, you can take a dry erase marker and mark your screen on all those spots where you would ever need to move the mouse to, and then just create a toggle starting from left to right, and move it to all those different locations for both of those different menus, and you'll be able to control both menus with the box without ever having to touch the computer. Now, another thing, it's not available on this yet, but we're working on a function to be able to use the map. The mini map that's on the left or the right, well, on every software pretty much, it's got the little map where you can click around. The box will be able to control that shortly too. That's a new thing. But then we have one more new thing to show you. That's pretty much it for the software. Back here on this page, there'll be a contact form. You can fill out the contact form, but I'll also put my phone number down here, and just text me if you say, hey, I click on it and something crazy happens. A dancing Elvis runs across the screen, whatever it may be. Whatever crazy happens, if something weird happens, or something you're not expecting, or something you can't figure out, let me know so I can look into it and get it fixed. I can show you this too. I did have one little incident yesterday, and it might have been more of a computer issue than it was the actual software. But a customer had a wireless box, and they had selected wireless. But the box, it's in the software, wasn't actually selecting the wireless. It was on the wired still. So we had to click off a wireless, back on wired, and then go back to wireless again, and then exit, and then reopen it, and that saved it to the wireless setting. So if you do have a wireless box, one more thing too. If you do have a wireless box, you may find that you have to click off of it and then back on it again to get it to activate, to actually be connected to the wireless. Now, another quick thing. If you come down here to your search bar in Windows, type in Setup USB Game Controllers. All right, right here. If you have a wireless box, you hit Advanced. You'll need to select the wireless box here if the computer doesn't automatically find it. So this may just be a problem. I'm the only one that's experienced this. And the reason I may be experiencing it is because I've tested so many boxes on the computer that the computer doesn't know which box it's looking at. So if you set up a wireless box and then you try to hit aim right, aim left, something like that, and you find that it's doing nothing, but it is, it won't even show connected up here. It'll show that it's not connected. So to actually select it, you'll have to come in here to set up USB game controllers and click down, and you'll see the other option right there for controller, and just click OK, and then it'll automatically connect for you. If you have that problem, I don't know if you will. Like I said, it just seems to be a problem that I've had with 2 computers, but those are the 2 computers that I test everything with. So those computers have had hundreds of boxes and different formats of different controllers that's been tested. So I don't know if it just doesn't automatically find it and I have to tell it, or if everyone will experience that. So if you do, that's where you find that at. Now, new thing. So before, if you had a wireless box, let's say, or sorry, if you had any box, you would have a a layout for whatever system you're probably using. Like, so this is mainly used for TGC. Everything on here is what you would want for TGC. Now, if for example you played E6 as well, some of these buttons names don't make sense for E6. So like club up and club down, that doesn't really work for E6 because you would want to open the club menu with one button and then toggle clubs with another button. So the names can be confusing, especially if you have people over and they're not used to the box. You have to tell them what is flyover may mean flyover in TGC, but in E6 it may mean well, it'll probably mean flyover because they have that. But for example, something else. Your target may mean who knows what you want to set it up for, change club, whatever it may be. So you have to keep reminding somebody that target's not actually target. So new thing. So this is an overlay. So these will be available pretty soon. So for example, this box is set up for TGC, but I can take this overlay with OptiShot, lay it on top, and now it's set up for OptiShot. All the buttons make sense for OptiShot, and it wouldn't be confusing to hand it to somebody and then to be able to see what each button does, and then afterwards go back to your original box. So there's also a sticker sheet going to be available with custom stickers for everything that's on your box. So if you want to change, you may not want shot type, you can switch it out to something else and just put a sticker over top of it and change it and make it set up for you and how you use your box. Okay, that should be everything. If you have any questions, message me on that page. I tried to run through that really fast because I got to get back to work. And we should be good. But if you have anything, questions, comments, or any kind of ideas or something you want to see, just let me know. All right? Where is stop there?